Victorian Secrets, Chapter 5. My, how does time fly? As we crossed the field, I noticed that a small crowd of people had gathered on a rooftop of one of the nearby factories. They were wielding guns of different varieties, like pistols, and all the way up to AK-47s. Once they saw the commander with us, they lowered their guns, and they waved at us, so we waved back. "Hey, Commander, just curious why your people are armed to the teeth?" He sighed deeply. "Because even though Berkowitz is dead and gone, he still has generals and soldiers who escaped and fled to other corners of the earth. We've had a few bombings over the past 25 years, and just last year we had an anthrax attack at our capital. 1,500 people died as they gassed them in Congress and had locked the doors." Cupid physically recoiled at the mere mention of such an atrocity. "Why are humans like this? Truly, even though I can understand it on the surface, I have yet to process it." Browning had a flat expression. "I couldn't tell you, my boy. I don't think any of us truly know." And as we got back to the plane, there was a sound in the sky, a low rumbling that gradually got louder. "Charles, Cupid, get down now!" I instinctively threw myself on top of Cupid to protect him. Then a black warplane streaked across the sky. It started to rain down bombs and gunfire into the group of watchmen. I covered my eyes and Cupid covered his ears. Then the flame flew away, and just like that it was all over. Cupid was sobbing and the commander rushed over to us. "Are you two okay?" I pushed myself off the ground as I helped Cupid up off the ground. Then as I turned around, I stood in shock and awe. Where the Cessna was, now stood a fiery crater, the fuselage warped and burned. I fell onto my knees screaming. Cupid then came over and hugged me from behind. Browning's face was one of shock and indiscriminate rage. "We will end this now. I know of someone that can help." Browning walked over to me and demanded we move on for our collective survival. "Dad, it'll be okay. We can rebuild the jet. It might take some time, but I know we can do it." I was moving physically, but my mind was numbed. I not only lost my plane and my portal, but I lost the only way to protect my son. I shook my head and snapped out of my daze, and it was only then I noticed we were back at Browning's house, and Christian opened the door and looked concerned. "Commander, what happened?" He explained the situation, and then Christian moved out of the home and started to walk over to the Ark. "Cupid, Charles, I'm leaving you with Christian for the time being. I have to attend to my people and notify their families. I'll be there soon." We both nodded and started to walk back to the Ark. As I looked towards the city, I saw nothing but greasy, black, oily smoke rising from all over. I gagged a bit, and Cupid held my hand. "It'll be okay, Dad. We have each other and the commander and Christian." I nodded, and my resolve hardened into sheer determination. "It's time to go to war. We have lots of work to do, Cupid." And after a few minutes of walking through the vast field, we were back at the Ark. I opened the door and Christian and Cupid walked in. I flipped on the power and looked at a certain book in the vast library. It was a notebook for how to turn on the computers with all the passwords written down. So my first act was to dust off the cobwebs of the computers and boot them up. The computers slowly turned on as they hadn't been used for ages. Once the computers were typed on, I typed 1 and 4 minus 7 plus 0.3 into the computer and unlocked almost immediately. And what I saw was a massive interconnected network of computers all over the world. Most were offline, as was to be expected. Christian made his way over to the computer as Cupid was flipping through the pages of a random book. "Anything I can do to help, Charles?" Actually, there was a network already online. It seemed to be online before I turned on the Ark. "Yeah, can you tell me the location of the coordinates 21.45.72? I'm just curious, as it seemed it was already operational before the Ark." He bent down to look at the computer, and his gears clicked and turned. "That would be the other side of the mountain range. It seems that this might be a lead to find the rest of Berkowitz's scum." The way he said scum was unnervingly human. "Has anyone been over the mountains in the last 25 years? Christian shook his head. "No, not to my knowledge. We just don't have the resources to climb safely." Then just like that, the online network disappeared from my computer screen. What the hell? "Christian, did you memorize those coordinates?" His gears clicked away as he responded. "Yes, Charles, I did. It's in my memory banks. Don't worry, we will destroy those who have ruined our world." The way he expressed human anger and hatred and cozy domesticity was bizarre, and it even made me slightly afraid of him. He was not someone whose bad side I wanted to be on. Cupid then rushed over, tripping in the process, and Christian caught him in mid-trip. Guys, you'll never guess what I found. Christian and I looked at each other and back and forth at Cupid. What'd you find, kiddo? He opened a book and showed me page 101. It showed a way to communicate across dimensions. My jaw hit the floor. Oh yeah, that's something the commander and I have known for years, but it was never possible without power. We could call Comrade Charlton and have him help us, but would he? Dad, we need to call Charlton as we're in way over our head, and I want a swift end to this war. But I'd also like to help Browning and Christian rebuild this world. It feels like the least we could do. It was the right thing to do, absolutely. Who's Charlton? Christian asked with a slight tilt of his head. The only hope we have, right, Cupid? Cupid nodded, and the plan was made. Okay, time to study these pages and find out how to call Charlton.